Willie D live.
What's up, family? Donald Trump, your president, went off on a black reporter at the White House during a press conference, all for asking him a serious question. The man was just doing his job. He wasn't hurting anybody. Just doing his job, asking a simple question. And Trump went off. I mean, all the way off. Check it out.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the question. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times. Are you
failing?
Are you concerned?
Circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are you concerned that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to war crimes?
No, not at all. No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen, because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran, we're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are tough, smart, and sick, really sick, from a policy standpoint, from a any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
It means violating international law.
Quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times, because the New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election, and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election. New York Times has no credibility. The credibility they have is it used to be all the news that's fit to print. The old gray lady, it was great, but they're running on past fumes, and you can't keep doing that. You have to be able to give the correct news. And people like you, who I know, are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages. Right. And we've heard a range of those kind of messages. So So
I kept this going, fam, for a reason. I wanted you to check out how hostile he was to the black reporter, and then how this woman asked pretty much the same type of, her tone was the same. The seriousness of the question was the same. But Trump had a total different response to her. I'm gonna back it up just a little bit so you can check out her intro.
War has moved from the war is coming to an end.
Correct news. And people like you, who I know, are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages. Right. And we've heard a range of those kind of messages. So which is it? Are you winding this down? Or are you escalating
I can't tell you. I don't know. I can't tell you. Depends what they do. This is a critical period. They have a period of, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Well, as you know, tomorrow at 8 o'clock came and went, right? And they sat down and they allegedly tried to negotiate with Iran. When that failed, they loaded up ships and warships to close off the Strait of Hormuz. And that didn't really work because China came through anyway. China was like, y'all don't dictate who we do business with. And if you want to go to war, I'll take you to war. You dig what I'm saying? China called their bluff. See, United States, they don't bother countries that have nukes. That's why they don't want Iran to have a nuke. Because if Iran has a nuke, now they have to respect Iran. They don't want to respect Iran. They don't want to be fair to Iran. They want to bully Iran. They know once they get that nuke, they can no longer bully Iran. Are you other countries listening? Anyway, fam, Notice the clear difference between how he spoke to the brother and how he spoke to that woman. Now, having said that, on many occasions, he has called out women. He's called women Miss Piggy. He called one woman stupid. He said all kinds of things about female reporters. He very seldom attacked male reporters. Very seldom. But also a lot of the male reporters, they ride the fence. They don't really ask the hard questions because they're trying to get along. They're trying to get favor. Trump should not be able to control the press room. He shouldn't have power over who's in that press room. And when these reporters are asking questions and they don't, and Trump tried to circumvent the question, when he tries to dismiss the reporter, not answer the question altogether, the next reporter should ask the very same question. And if he don't answer that reporter's question, then the next reporter needs to ask the same question, and it needs to go on and on and on until he answers the question. What is the sense of having a press conference if you cannot stand to be pressed during the conference? Yeah. It's like, dude can't stand no pressure. He got to go. He has to go. See, only a guilty person would respond the way that he responded. If he had a plausible reason for doing what he was doing, then he would have been like, oh, soon as, you want to answer that question, right? You know how it is, fam. Like, it's almost like getting that pitch you've been waiting. You're looking for the ball straight across the plate. You waiting on it. You just waiting. And here it comes. You can't wait to knock that thing out the park. It's like knowing your homework, right? Anytime you've studied before a pop quiz, anytime you've done your homework, when you go to school the next day and you take that test or they try to hit you with the pop quiz, you like, because I'm finna ace this thing. This is nothing. He has a guilty conscience. That's why he was offended by what Buddy said. The dude was very respectful. Mr. President, thank you for the question. Thank you. Mr. President, thank you for the question. And then he went on and just asked a simple question, and he could not answer, or he would not answer. It's something fundamentally wrong with this dude. He has no decorum, no class. I'm talking about zero class. He is not presidential. Now, don't get me wrong. Presidents before him were uncivilized also. Many of them were trash. But at the very least, they understood decorum. They understood that. And he has zero. This dude is experiencing the triple whammy: ageism, sexism, and unsolicited job feedback. Yeah, fam, this is bad. Dude, straight out of the narcissistic playbook. Trump is afraid of what's in those Epstein files coming out. And this is the catalyst for much of his angst on a daily basis. This is why he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed daily. Because he is totally paranoid about what's going to come out next with those Epstein files. There's a woman that was a friend of Melania's who went on a Twitter rant last week, and she was talking about her relationship with Melania and how you better do the right thing. You do not want me to expose you. You tried to get me to go along and do whatever it was with you. And she said she declined. So she was pretty much implicating Melania Trump in the Epstein files. And that's why Melania Trump came out with that impromptu address to the nation. I had nothing to do with the Epstein files. I had nothing to do with the Epstein files. And I didn't think that the women should get the justice. Like, hey man, where'd that come from? Yeah. The brother, I think he kind of went down a little bit too soft at the end. I think he could have just said at the very last end when Trump told him to quiet, and let's run that back at the very end.
Stand any which way you want to say. Mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to allow them, and powerful and rich, to have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times, not going to happen.
It means violating international law.
Quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times, because the New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election, and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election. New York Times has no credibility. The credibility they have is it used to be all the news that's fit to print. The old gray lady, it was great, but they're running on past fumes, and you can't keep doing that. You have to be able to give the correct news. And people like you, who I know, are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Your messaging on the war.
Say, fam, president or not, he ain't gonna be able to just call me fake and get the last word. I'm just talking about decorum. Hey, man, respect comes first. Respect comes first. You're fake. How you fake? Fake. That rug on your hair is fake, you dirty low down Yeah, your wife titties is fake, sucker. Fake. Get them out of here. Hey, get off me, man. I'm walking. I'm out. Damn this job, man. Be called the New York Times, be on the phone with New York Times, like, yeah, how'd it go? It didn't go that well. You'll see it. Yeah, I kind of like, I kind of like tripped out at the end, but do what y'all gonna do. I'm a man first, fam. I can't have somebody just trying to handle me any kind of way. I don't give a damn who it is. You ain't gonna be able to just handle me any kind of way. I'm a man first before everything. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.